All right, so you don't have that first question. Your first question is this one here with this compass. So to find the angle that is shown in here, you can see the arrow, which tells you the size angle that you want in there. This is your question one. You know that there is a 90 degrees in this corner. What you need to find out is how big that part and that part is of your angle. So what you can do is you could count the lots of 10 degrees. So I can't see, it's a bit blurry, but 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, is it 60 degrees? Oh, it's too blurry to see, isn't it? Yes, it is 60. Counting by that is 60 around there. And then from here, counting around that way, how big did that angle be? No. I think that's 60 as well. Okay. So if I add those parts together on the calculator, if you're just doing 60 plus 90 plus 60, you would get your answer. Okay, so that is 210 degrees when you add them all together. Now, alternatively, you could have also read off that number there, which is, it's very blurry. 300, oh, it's too hard to read. It's too blurry. 330 is the angle there. So that angle there is 330, and that angle there is 120. So if I had alternatively just done 330 minus 120, what do you get? 210. So it is 210. Okay, going on to the next question. It says to draw, which is why I gave you protractors, but your booklet doesn't have that, so let's just move on to the next one. It says to name the following angles as either acute, obtuse, straight, reflex, or a revolution. So anything between 0 and 90 degrees is acute. So the 76 degrees there, that one there is acute. I'm only going to do the first three. Between 90 and 180 is an obtuse, which you don't have any of those. A straight angle is exactly 180. As soon as you go over 180, which is this one here, that's a reflex. And after a reflex, the only other one we have after that is a revolution, which is 360. So what about that 289? It is also a reflex. So I've done the first three. You can either quickly do those other ones there or come back to those later. The next question after that, you're naming the following as either acute. We're just doing it from the diagram this time. So remember to pay attention to the arc. So this one, I'm only going to look at A. We're going the whole way around, which is called a revolution. So you're just naming each of those. Okay, question 4. To name by the types, the angles, the labels that you have there, I want to use the letters. We use the little angle symbol, which looks like that. It's not an L, it's an angle. And we use these three letters, the P, the D, and the J. The D is the point of that angle, so it needs to be in the middle. So I'm going to call it PDJ, but you could also have switched those around to be JDP, as long as the D is in the middle. Okay? All right. I'm just checking the book at the same time to make sure these match up with yours. Yes, the next one does. So question 5 says to draw an example of a reflex angle. Reflex angle meaning more than 180 degrees. So over here, I'm going to use my ruler. So I'm going to make sure it goes past the 180, which means I'm talking about that part around there, bigger than 180. But I have to label it with these letters. The R has to be in the middle. The W and the T just on the ends, doesn't really matter which one's which. So I'm going to go W, R in the middle, T down the end. Okay, but something along that. You could have lots of different variations. Your reflex angle could be even bigger. It could come all the way around here. Okay, but anything that is bigger than 180 and has those labels on it. Okay, next question says, give the letter name for each acute and obtuse angle in the diagram. Okay, so I'm only going to do this first one and you're going to do the other ones. So the acute angle and the obtuse angle. So I'm just labeling them over here so I know which one's which. The acute angle would be this one in here. All right? To name it, I have to use the three letters R, M in the middle, D. So angle, R, M, D. It would also be correct if you said angle DMR, reversing the order, as long as the M is in the middle and you have those three letters. The obtuse angle is going to be this bigger one on the other side. Again, the M is in the middle, but I need the R and the T on the either side. So angle RMT would be the obtuse angle. Okay, is it making sense? Okay, let's keep moving. Next question says, find the complement. Complement, going to highlight that, are angles that add to 90 degrees. Okay, so if I have one of the angles is 56, I want to do 90 minus 56 to find the other angle that makes the 90. So you just type that in, 90 minus 56, and you know the answer is 34 degrees. Okay, whereas next one says supplement. Supplement ones add to 180. Okay, so this time, if I have 69 degrees as my first angle, I'm going to do 180 minus the 69. Okay, so that's 111 degrees. We're keeping up okay? Yes, good. All right, moving on. Question 11. Find the value of the pronumeral in each of the following. Remember when we did this, we had lots of different reasons. We had right angles, straight angles, vertically opposite angles, angles at a point, then all the parallel line ones. That's what this stuff is starting to do. You want to find the value of the letter that's in here, and it doesn't say it, but I want you to practice giving your reasons as well. Yeah. What's supplement? Supplement as 180, yes. Yeah, cool. Okay, so this first diagram, the two angles in here are in a right angle. They are going to add to give 90 degrees. So let's add them together. I'm going to say y plus, wait, you've got a different question. Do you have this question? Oh, yeah, you do. Yep, sorry. Yep, I just thought it was different for a second. Y plus 2y equals 90. Makes the right angle. Okay, and then we had to write the reason in brackets after that, which is right angle equals 90 degrees. Is it coming back? Remember this? Good. Okay, now you have to solve that to find out what y is equal to. So these are like terms. We know algebra. Y plus 2y is 3y's. So 3y equals 90. And then to solve the equation, the 3 and the y are multiplied together. So we do the opposite, which is divide by 3. Dividing the 3 means y is equal to 30, because 90 divided by 3 is 30. And when we did these in our test earlier in the year, you got 1 mark for getting the value of y, and you got another mark for giving me the reason properly. Okay, so those reasons are very important. So the second one here, this is another right angle one. It just has a few more angles in there, but it's also a right angle. When you go to the next page, both of these two are straight lines which equal how many degrees? 180. Good. So I'm going to do the harder one this time. I'll leave the easier one for you. The harder one, I'm going to start with the letter M, and I'm going to add on all the other angles. So I have 16 and I have a right angle, so that's a 90, don't miss that 90, and a 24. There's 4 angles in there. And they will equal 180 degrees. Then I need to write my bracket, my reason, and that is straight angle equals 180. Okay, now I've still got to solve my equation. Because you have all of these numbers here, add those up first to make it easier. So you just go 16 plus 90 plus 24 is 130. So m plus 130 is equal to 180. Then, to do the opposite, what's the opposite of this plus 130? Minus the 130. Okay, that will get rid of that. M is by itself. 180 minus 130 is 50. So the answer is m equals 50. The reason is that straight angles equal 180. Yes? Did you do 180 then just subtract all the other ones off? Yes, that also works. But why this is the way I did it in class, because when you have more complicated equations like the one I did back here with the 2y's, it's easier if you can have all your like terms on the same side. Yeah. But it's probably still correct. Okay, let's go on to the next one. 13. So this is angles at a point. So if you have all the angles kind of going around your revolution, they are going to add to 360 degrees. So I'm going to start with my letter. My letter is G. Then I'm going to add on all the angles. So 151 plus 65 plus 71. Did I get them all? Yes, there's 4 of them. Good. And then that equals 360. The reason is angles at a point equals 360. Okay, now like I did last time, add up these numbers to make it nicer. 151 plus 65 plus 71. Remember, you're not talking, you are listening or you are working independently. To get the G by itself, I now need to subtract the 287. Okay, and I'll get my final answer by subtracting 360 minus the 287. So that's 73. Let's go to the next ones. Question 14. Oh, it's 12 on your page, sorry. So on yours it's number 12. This is vertically opposite. It looks very similar to the last diagram, except that you don't have all of the angles going around. You have 2 straight lines crossing over, and you want the angles opposite each other. We call it vertically opposite. They are always equal. Okay, so for the first one, I just say T equals 78. Toby, that's it. Done. T equals 78. I need to write my reason though. And the reason is vert op angles. So that's short for vertically opposite angles. Vert op angles are equal. Okay, so you'll be able to very quickly do B because it's very similar. So I wasn't going to do anything in the next one because we've already covered all of those types. Moving down to question 16 on mine, but it's 14 on your page. So it says, state yes or no as to whether the following pairs of angles are complementary. We talked about complementary already. Complementary angles add to 90 for the complementary, that's right. So all you want to do is add these together. You go 12 plus 78. What does it equal? It does equal 90. So because it equals 90, that means yes, those first ones are going to be complementary. Okay, you can say yes or no as to whether the other ones add up to 90 or not. Supplementary is the next one. which adds to 180. So does 60 and 30 add to 180? No, those are complementary, but they're not supplementary, so that's a no for those ones because they don't add to 180. Okay. No, they have to be exactly 180. Even if it was 181, it would still be no. It has to be exactly 180 for it to work. Now, after you've done that question, these next ones in here with all these little compasses, we didn't do that stuff. So you can cross those questions off. Okay, so you can cross off questions. They're on your sheets at 16, 17, and 18. Okay?